Our next guest is one of the most recognizable voices behind MACtion. Jeremy Guy is the Associate Commissioner for Communications at the Mid-American Conference, where he oversees the league's storytelling, media strategy, and brand identity. He's also the host of the Mac's official podcast, Call to MACtion, giving fans inside access to the people, programs, and moments that define the conference. It is our pleasure to welcome back Jeremy Guy, and we'll talk a little bit of collectibles tonight, as well as the MAC tournament coming up this week.
I don't think we heard you. Uh-oh. We'll try. Communications director.
Yeah, it's par for the course. The breadsmith's son has no food, and the cobbler's son has no shoes.
Well, I can't hear him. I don't know if you can hear him. Oh, mute, unmute. No.
How about now?
Gotcha.
Yes.
Right,
now we're here. Right. Fantastic.
Right. Sorry about that. Look at me.
No, it's good.
Waiting here to talk to you guys, and I can't even. I screw up the open.
Nah, that's great. We
got a lot on your plate this week, so it's understandable.
We had posed a question earlier about card shows and favorite pickups, and I know you're busy and you're not able to get to a lot of card shows, but I know you and your son rip packs. You hit some card shops. What's one of the cool things that you guys have hit lately?
I think it's all about for us. It's been great. Just seeing my son get in the hobby. And every holiday that comes by, and that passes, or his birthday or anything, it's now about cards. And we go to, I'll give a plug to the local shop, Over the Fence, which I'm sure you guys know, in Eastlake. And we go up there, and he's big into football. The football, baseball, and basketball cards. And just collecting. And I'm trying to teach him to collect. His favorite players. So he has a Bijan Robinson signed, or 10 Gem Mint 10. He's got a Justin Jefferson auto. Out of a pack, we got a Jackson Dart. Disco. White disco, and just like, I'll tell you this, he watches way too many YouTube videos about opening packs, because he thinks that any pack that we're going to get, he's going to strike, one of these downtowns or anything else. And I'm like, buddy, these packs that these guys are opening that you're watching on YouTube are a lot more than what I'm buying you. But
it's still the thrill.
That being said,
it's the hunt.
It's teaching him, look for your favorite players. I think last year, he got Jose Ramirez, I think it was called a home field advantage card, and that's one of his favorite baseball players. And going to shows and getting Donovan Mitchell's and Evan, Cleveland guys, and then teaching him some of, my favorite players, right? And giving him and handing down some of my Michael Jordan cards that I had, or Ken Griffey Jr. cards, who was my favorite person to collect. And and LeBron, I have LeBron's first rookie. So just being able to have those, hand them down. And now we've gotten into, if he gets a card that he might not know the guy, teaching him about just eBay, that you can maybe make some money off these. And it just, it's nothing crazy, but it's been fun and seeing him, and he's getting really into it.
And now with the NIL, there's a whole bunch of cards for the collegiate athletes, and Bowman U University for basketball and for football, and there's players in the MAC that have cards, and I mean, we can go all the way back to the Jack Lamberts and the Mike Schmitz, but there's even players now that are getting cards in the MAC schools. And I mean, it's really something different now.
Yeah, no doubt. And even, I was at the college football national championship game, and, I know Topps does the Topps Now program, and you're able to buy off the site. So I was at the game. So, that was one thing that, even though I was at the game, getting a Mendoza, art card, just stuff like that, where you're able to go to an event, get a card, and that's part of you being there. Right. So that's really cool. And I didn't even say that about getting packs, not even about those big hits, but I've been able to teach my son a little bit about the players that, I've worked with, or, they get a Max Crosby, or gosh, we've gotten some baseball cards of Eric Lauer, who, is great at pitcher at Kent State, or McKinstry, or any guy that's been coming through the MAC. I'm able to say, well, this guy, Quinyon Mitchell, anyone, and if he gets him in a pack, it's fun to say, this guy played in the MAC, and this guy played in the conference. So that's been a fun way as well to go through these cards and show them a little bit about what I do through the student athletes that I've gotten to work with.
Courtney talked earlier about doing things the right way through their scavenger hunt. Overheard some conversation this weekend at the Broadview Heights show, and something you said struck me that we don't talk about enough, is that how impactful and educational the hobby can really be, and the opportunity to teach kids life skills and business skills. They're actually, when you go out to shows or you're online, you're negotiating, you're trading, you're evaluating product, goods, and services. You're forced to communicate with people and negotiate, but you're also learning math and all the stats and information. It's pretty remarkable. I appreciate you sharing that, Jeremy, about how your son is taken to the hobby.
Yeah, and it's all the stuff that you named, and also, supply and demand. Hey, well, this guy's not worth this because of that, and so he may not realize it now, but it is a good way to show someone his age. He's 8 years old, so someone his age, like, even though he doesn't know exactly what he's learning, he's learning it, and that's really cool, and a part that I really enjoy. That he was so proud. Now he gets a card and he takes his own iPad out and he's like taking a picture of it, and he's got like eBay on there to see what the price is, and that's just fun. That's another fun part of it. So yeah,
it is. And like Bowman U cards, he can now watch. He can come to the MAC tournament next week. He can watch some of these players, and maybe they'll have cards, and this will resonate with him. Maybe somebody from Kent or somebody from the undefeated Miami team will make it to the next level, or they'll have a card, and he can say that he was there watching these guys play.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, one great example of that I didn't even mention before, with me being a Bowling Green grad and with Harold Fannin playing right here in Cleveland, he knows Harold Fannin. He knows Harold Fannin on the field, and he knows when he gets a card, we're pumped about getting Harold Fannin cards. And I get jacked when I get a Harold Fannin card, because of just he's been a great fixture here in Cleveland in his rookie season. So yeah, it's cool at those events. I went on the other day after the USA men won hockey, and they Jack Hughes card, and being able to get that card, with that smile and everything, that's like an iconic picture. Just to me, I find myself getting into the hobby as well, but through my son. So it's fun.
Yeah. Before we get into what's going to happen in the tournament this week and some of this stuff, one of my favorite collectibles is I have a MAC championship ring.
Oh, nice.
I won't say the player, but it's a Kent State.
Okay.
You guys probably won't know, but things like this that the players get become collected, and the jerseys that they wear, or the nets that get cut down. There are so many different collectibles that come from this tournament. Anything that you remember over the years that you've been doing it, that you're like, man, I wish I would have had something like this.
Oh, that's a great question. One thing that just sticks in my mind, and you show the Kent State ring, I was able to be a part of traveling with Kent State to the College World Series. And I don't know if they received anything, to be honest, but what they gave me, which I still have, that's really cool, is, a MAC team making the College World Series, which is one of the best events I've ever been to during my time at the MAC. The whole team signed this poster, I guess I'll just call it a hologram type poster with all the teams that made the College World Series, because I was with them every step of the way. So I have this signed poster, and then I also have a ball that was signed by the whole team. And I just think that's a really cool, piece of MAC history, a team that again, doesn't make a Northern team, let alone a MAC team, doesn't make the College World Series. And, traveling with them, go to all the practice, going to Omaha, seeing them beat Florida there, and being kind of embedded with them at an event is something that I won't forget. And I have a collectible from that event, a pretty cool collectible. That's a lot of people would be like, wow, how'd you get that? Tons of Kent fans like being part of that or watching that. And so that's definitely one at the top of my list.
Jeremy, transitioning to the MAC tournament this week, of course, the men's and women's tournament will take place at Rocket Arena. I mentioned earlier, a lot of eyes, all eyes on Cleveland this week. You've got an undefeated team in the conference going into the week. Has Miami University's run changed the dynamic for this week? Are you getting more requests? Is there more interest in seeing what happens? Because there's a lot of debate out there, whether they need to win outright to get into the tournament, or if there will be two teams from the MAC that get in if they happen to be upset this week.
Yeah, demand definitely there. There's a few things that I'll touch on. I'm glad you asked. Ticket sales we've already exceeded from last year, and a pretty decent chunk than what we've done last year. And we have 8 of our women's teams already locked into the tournament, although seeding still has to be determined. But we only have 6 of our 8 men's teams. So not even all the teams have been determined yet. And our ticket sales are through the roof. I know I'm getting personally more requests from people I know regarding tickets. We also have we've done for a number of years now, our block party, which is we do that on the Friday night, the semifinal games, and it's in the Lighthouse Champions Club at Rocket Arena, and it's a VIP experience. But this year we sold that event, our Friday event, out in 4 days, which is close to 400 tickets just for that section. So we talked internally. We said, hey, we should open this up on Saturday, and we have like 11 tickets left on Saturday night. So people are excited. It's not just Miami. Of course, that's the story, probably the story in college basketball to date, this year. But we have a lot of other good basketball teams, as you guys know. And not just, their women's team in Miami only has 1 loss. And Ball State on the women's side has 2 losses coming off a title last year. And, Akron, Kent State on the men's side, we're going to have one heck of a tournament. And Miami, obviously, I think has driven a big chunk of excitement around the league. But it's MAC basketball. Anyone can win the thing. I'll say that any year, if we have an undefeated team or not. And it's just our brand. And it's really cool to see there be so much buzz around this year's tournament. So yeah, tickets and everything our events are really jumping off, and I can't wait for next week.
Yeah, people travel from all the MAC schools to come to this, and it's terrific to see every year. We're homers here. We want to see Akron and Kent in the finals every year, and that's a big thing. But watching Miami, watching Central Michigan, and all the directionals. I mean, it is top to bottom. Anybody can win this tournament, and that goes for men and women every single year. That the whatever, I think 10 teams make it, right? That seed can win it.
8 teams on each side. Yep.
Yeah, and the 8 team can win it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No doubt. That's why this is our 26th year in Cleveland this year, or at Rocket Arena. And it's outside work-wise, it's my 21st tournament, but I went as a student at Bowling Green, so I may have missed 1 or 2 of all 26 tournaments here in Cleveland. But it's one of the key events in the city every year, quite honestly. And I love seeing people come down on the Wednesday for the women's games or Thursday for the men's games and spend from 11 o'clock till 11 at night watching basketball. I remember doing that as a student when I was at BG. Love it then, I love it now. And don't know what games are going to bring what kind of excitement, twist, turns. That's what MACtion's all about. So again, next week should be a lot of fun. And even though we have some teams at the top of the standings, yeah, I mean, it's anyone's guess who could come out of this thing.
Jeremy, let everybody know where they can get those tickets and more information.
Yeah, so Rocket Arena box office and online at rocketarena.com is where you can get tickets. I will just plug, if I may, two other events. On Wednesday night, we have a Wednesday for Women event, which
Love
we've
that.
done leading up to the Final Four when we hosted the Women's Final Four, but that's in conjunction with our women's games on Wednesday. So that's a $30 ticket. You get to watch the games, drink tickets, appetizers. There's a panel for speakers, and this year's for active women and athletes. Obviously, as you guys know, women's basketball is has been an upward trajectory and continues to do that. So that's an event that we really like doing. I talked about the block party as well. And then something that we actually just talked about today is called Ann's Pantry. And that's a community initiative in the name of our commissioner, John Steinbrecker's late wife, Ann Steinbrecker, who passed away a couple of years ago. But she had compassion for, helping others and a commitment to community service. And this is a food drive that we are going to have every night of the arena. So people can bring their canned goods. You get 10% off at Rally House down the street. And it's just a way to give back. And I want to also plug that because that's a big thing. We're working with the Hunger Network, and those goods will be picked up and we'll be able to give them back to, local Northeast Ohio families. So, a lot going on, talk about the tickets and everything, but there's some other ways that people can get involved. And truly, this is an event that gives back to the city of Cleveland.
Love it. Can't wait for next week. Jeremy, thank you again for joining us
Absolutely.
and talking a little bit of cards this week, and
Yeah.
best of luck next week.
All right. Sounds good, guys. Appreciate you having me.
Thanks, Jeremy.
All right. Our pleasure.